No murmur arose from her bed, and so gently she wandered along with all her undying stories tucked far down within her bosom.
Kaveri, a tumultuous saga by grade 6.
ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ಪಾಲಿಸು ನಮ್ಮನ ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಮಾತೆ ತಲಕಾವೇರಿಯ ಪಾವನ ಜನನಿ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ಪಾಲಿಸು ನಮ್ಮನ ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಮಾತೆ ತಲಕಾವೇರಿಯ ಪಾವನ ಜನನಿ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ತೀರ್ಥ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಮಾತೆ ಸರ್ವ ಪಾಪವ ಕಳೆಯುವ ಮಾತೆ ಬರುವ ದೋಷವ ಅಳಿಸುವ ಮಾತೆ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ಶ್ರೀ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ಪಾಲಿಸು ನಮ್ಮನ ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಮಾತೆ ತಲಕಾವೇರಿಯ ಪಾವನ ಜನನಿ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತಾಯೇ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ.
Talakaveri was reeling under a severe drought. The scorched earth extended for miles, seared, arid and parched. People and cattle were dying of hunger. Emaciated women, children and the elderly were digging the dry, dusty soil, desperately searching for a few drops of water. Sage Agastya Muni reached Talakaveri on his way to the Brahmagiri hills. He was appalled by the piteous sight unfolding in front of him. His conscience stirred. He decided to meditate and implore the gods for help.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
In response to his ardent prayers, Lord Shiva appeared before the sage. Agastya appeals to the Lord to help the people of the barren land. He blessed the Muni and as a special boon filled Agastya's Kamandala with water from the holy Ganga river. Agastya, however, remained oblivious of the significance of Shiva's boon. Fortunately, Lord Ganesha noticed the sage and took matters into his own hands. Donning the guise of a crow, he flew around the sage and he tipped the Kamandala, showering the parched earth with holy water. And from the verdant landscape of the Brahmagiri hill ranges in Kodagu arose the mighty river Kaveri, gushing over the time-worn rocks, satiating the thirst of the unfortunate villagers.
Namate tu Kaveri Sarvatita Shritanati Panchapapaka Samhati Vahineda Phalaprada Bhaktantyanti Muni Bhagyalakshmi Nitye Jagan Mangaladana
The unique culture and identity of the Kodavas is in sync with the alluring Kaveri that originates here. And the harvest festival, Huttari, is predominant amongst all celebrated by the Kurgis.
ಸುಕ್ಕಿ ಸುವಾಲ ಕುಣಿತ ನೆರಕಟ್ಟಿ ಕದಿರು ಕುಯ್ಯೋ ಗುತ್ತರಿ ಬೋಲಿ ಬೋಲಿ ಬಾ.
ಸುಗ್ಗಿ ಸುವಾಲ ಕುಣಿತ ಹನ್ನೆರ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಕದಿರು ಕುಯ್ಯೋ ಹುತ್ತರಿ ಓಲಿ ಓಲಿ ಬಾ.
ಕೋಲಾಡೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಸುಕ್ಕಿ ಕೋಲಾಡ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಕೋಲಾಡೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಸುಗ್ಗಿ ಕೋಲಾಡ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಸುಗ್ಗಿ ಸುವಾಲ ಕುಣಿತ ಹನ್ನೆರ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಕದಿರು ಕುಯ್ಯೋ ಹುತ್ತರಿ ಓಲಿ ಓಲಿ ಬಾ.
అమ్మ చీర అన్న చీర అయ్యండ్ర అప్పయ్యండ్ర ఆ జట్ట ఆ నేర ఆమె అరంగూరు.
అల్కారియా జీర అందకల్ అంచపాడి బారాన బైతడ్క బడ్డన బెట్రా.
పైచన పితృపణే పడువండ్ర బయటచ్చి పైమన బయలుళీర పంబారన పర్లంగొట్టి.
ಕೋಲಾಡನೋ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಸುಗ್ಗಿ ಕೋಲಾಡ ಬನ್ನಿ.
ಸುಗ್ಗಿ ಸುವಾಲೆ ಕುಣಿತ ನೆರಕಟ್ಟಿ ಕದಿರು ಕುಯ್ಯೋ ಹುತ್ತರಿ ಬೋಲಿ ಬೋಲಿ ಬಾ.
From Talakaveri, the majestic river winds her way through streams and pools across the Mandya and Madhu regions. Down the ages, she has borne witness to deep-rooted loyalty and devotion, as well as treacherous duplicity and betrayal, but none so well known as the story of Rani Alamelama.
King Tirumal Raja, who was suffering from some incurable disease, left his kingdom under his wife Rani Alamelama's rule and went to Talakadu to offer prayers at the temple of Vaidishvara. The queen was presiding over the darbar when she received an urgent summons to go to Talakadu, where His Majesty's health had taken a turn for the worse. As the distraught queen left, gathering her priceless jewels, so entered Raja Wadeyar, to whom she had handed over temporary governance of the land. He coveted the Rani's invaluable jewels and launched a search of the palace, only to realize that the queen had taken the priceless jewels with her. Discussing her location from an attendant, he gathered a group of his soldiers and set off to ambush her. Meanwhile, the critically ill king Tirumal Raja succumbed to his illness. Devoid of her husband's presence, the shattered queen felt as if her whole world was coming to a standstill. The sudden attack of Raja Wadeyar was the last straw. Desperately weaving through her attackers, the Rani realized that she had only one option left. She gathered the jewels into her sari and flung herself into the swollen Kaveri to avoid being captured. Before doing so, she uttered the threefold curse.
Talakadu maralagi, malangi maduvagi, Mysuru varasarige, makkalagudirali.
May Talakad turn into a barren expanse of sand. May Malangi on the banks of Kaveri turn into a whirlpool. May the rulers of Mysore not have progeny for eternity.
From the abysmal curse of a distant past, we have moved way ahead along with River Kaveri, adding to the vibrancy of this land, Karnataka. Kamsale, a dance form using the brass instrument kamsal.
Dollo Konita, accompanied by singers, is characterized by the simple yet elegant costumes of its performers, while Veeragase is an energy-sapping act with intense movements. As Kaveri crosses the geographical boundaries of Karnataka, it merges with the vibrant culture of Tamil Nadu. Goddess Mariamman has been worshipped since ancient times as the harbinger of rain and prosperity.
எல்லாம் கொண்டாட்டம் ஆடுதம்மா பூந்தரகம்
It is time for us to follow the sinuous Kaveri into the land of the Cholas and the Pandyas, where music becomes synonymous with the river.
कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या प्रवर्तते
The august trinity of Carnatic music, Tyagaraja Swamigal, Muthuswami Dikshitar and Shyama Shastrigal were the sons of the lush and fertile Kaveri Delta, each note created by them. A literary classic with river Kaveri at the epicenter of it all.
The final stretch in the momentous journey of the Kaveri is at Poompuhar, once a flourishing ancient port city, also known as Kaveri Poompattinam, the lost city of the Sangam period. This is where the majestic Kaveri merges into the Bay of Bengal.
Kaveri has been immortalized in the Tamil epic piece Silapadikaram, written by Ilango Adigal in the 5th century, which unfolds the story of the merchant Kovalan, who is married to the beautiful maiden Kannagi. The story takes a turn as Kovalan ruins himself due to his personal pursuit and was left penniless in the streets of Madurai. Seeing her distraught husband, Kannagi offers her expensive anklet for him to restart his business. With reluctance, he accepts her offer and tries to sell the anklet to a goldsmith. Tragedy strikes as the goldsmith hands him over to the king's guards, accusing Kovalan of stealing the queen's anklet. As per the king's order, he is unjustly beheaded for a crime he never committed. A worried Kannagi goes in search of her husband on the streets of Madurai, where she receives the message from the goldsmith that her husband has been unjustly executed by the king. Furious at the injustice, Kannagi storms into the king's court.
Pandyanatan Mannavanange,
Nandan, Niyar.
Kannagi, Kovalan Manevi, Kannagi.
She breaks her anklet of emeralds and rubies, thus establishing the innocence of her husband. The king and queen collapse, seeing the enormity of their unjust verdict. Unable to quench her anger, Kannagi then utters a terrible curse that the entire city of Madurai should be reduced to ashes.
It was the rage of a chaste woman that Kaveri stood witness to centuries ago. And there she flows even now before our very eyes, quietly, serenely, adding on to another page in history. Her existence remains as the liquid soul of the land, and her undulating waters, blessings for the lives she touches.
Let this mighty river not be reduced to a utility measurable in cusecs with a jug of statistics. Let it not be a river that divides people. Let it not be a pale shadow of its glorious past. Let her ebb and flow through valleys and forests, shaping the cultures of the land she touches, forever and forever.